All right.
Yeah, happy New Year, brothers, man.
Yeah, same, man. Same. Happy New Year, man.
Same to you, bro. It was a
New location,
quiet one.
Daniel.
Daniel, what are you saying? You taking this thing international, yeah? Right, there's a travel ban right now, fam. Man's in Dubai.
Bro, just new location, bro. Just new location.
Yeah, I hear you still. I
New
hear you.
location.
Man, just moved.
Samson, it's new for you as well.
I just moved to the kitchen.
New location, bro. Come on. New year, man. Got to switch things up a little bit.
I hear you still. I hear you. But yeah, man, happy New Year, man. Man, it was a bit of a quiet one, isn't it?
It's gonna be even more of a quiet one now.
Yeah, so literally just before Christmas, if you guys are not listening from the UK, just before Christmas, we went into another national lockdown, and it wasn't really a national lockdown. It was more of like just increased restrictions, and now we're officially into a lockdown 6 days into the new year. So it's been a bit of a weird transition, but it's what it is, man.
But yeah, we're transition, but we've got a lot of boxing to talk about now.
There we go. Kick it off, my guy.
Yeah, trust me.
I mean, now a place to start than the Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia fight. I was surprised about the time of the fight, though. I didn't know there was going to be a fight so early in the year, 2nd of January. But it's a good start to the year, good fight, and DAZN. They had 3 fights. 3 fights over. In fact, no, we got to talk about. Did we talk about Canelo last time? And Callum Smith?
Yeah, we
did. Okay, cool. So DAZN, what they put on Anthony Joshua, Callum Smith, and Canelo, and Ryan Garcia, and Luke Campbell. I think that's a good lineup, though. I'm not sure. Did you guys sign up to DAZN or anything?
They had Golovkin as well, innit?
And Triple G, yeah.
Golovkin as well.
Did you?
Yeah, I signed up. Yeah, I thought it was good.
What? Because you get the first month free or something like that, right?
No, I didn't get the first month free. It's just $1.99.
$1.99. Okay, cool. I think my boy sent me one that you can do it for free. But yeah, what do you think of the fight, Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight actually. It was interesting from both parts because I thought going into the fight, I thought a lot of people were sleeping on Luke Campbell a little bit. And I think it probably showed that in what he did in the fight for what it lasted. But yeah, Ryan Garcia showed me something that I didn't think he had, to be honest, because I thought once that adversity hit and he got knocked down, I thought he was going to be in trouble still. I didn't think he was going to have the heart, if I'm being honest. But he did, man. He came back well. Like, there's a lot of flaws. People can talk about lots of flaws in him. But like, the guy's young, isn't he? He's at the start of his career, so there's going to be.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think it was an impressive win, and I think even more impressive the fact that he got knocked down and he came back and he was so composed. That's one thing that I noted. And they do call him the Flash. I always did question, whether his social media or viral videos would be able to translate into something more meaningful in the ring. And it looked like and it can do against a very top class opponent. So that's good to see. I agree with you on the point that he's young and there's a few errors in his fighting style, but I think because there is such a young who are more or less doing big things right now, Lopez against Loma, Gervonta, Haney, I feel like the margin for error is so small right now for those fighters, and that they have to, prove themselves now, because it's sooner or later they're going to fight one another. Do you know what I mean? sooner or later they'll be fighting one another, and they'll get found out. So this is a unique time because you don't have. I don't know. I can't remember a time where you've had such young fighters who are so competitive right now. Usually you'll get a young talent that, has time to improve. But right now, I don't think there is much time. It's now or never to some degree. So that's just my 2 pence to me anyway.
No, that's an interesting take, man. I agree with both of you. There's not really much more to add in the sense that I rate the way he got up, stuck to the game plan, and still won. I think that tells you a lot about him and his training. And yeah, man, he's an exciting young prospect, and like you're saying, he's young. He's still at the beginning of his career, so I think he's got some really exciting fights ahead of him. I've seen actually that he said that he wants Gervonta Davis. He's out to he said, I'm out to knock him out in 2 rounds. So I don't know what you might think about that, but that seems like an exciting division at the moment.
Yeah, it's stacked. Currently stacked. It's stacked. But one thing again, I think I would say though is time will tell if it's a hype. A lot of these are hype jobs. I don't think they are, but you never know. You never know. It could be just a buzz right now, and then a lot of them get found out later along in their careers, because a lot of their game right now is based on athleticism. Do you know what I mean? But as you age, you kind of lose that, don't you? And one thing I'll be very cautious of is like peaking too early. That's one thing you've got to really be cautious of, peaking too early and not gradually getting to that point where, you get to the pinnacle of the sport, both mentally, financially, skill-wise. All of that needs to needs to meet at the same time. But if one peaks earlier than the other, then you might see, a lot of them go on the wayside. I mean, it happened to Adrian Broner, didn't it? The fame got to him. Was getting money, but he had talent, but one peaks before the other.
Yeah, and I think on the thing as well, I don't think Ryan Garcia wants to be a boxer long term either. If I'm being honest with you, I think they're trying to call out Gervonta Davis and trying to focus on getting these big fights early. I think it just leads yourself, and the way that he's built himself up, it just leads me to believe that he has ambitions beyond boxing.
Yeah.
And he might want to be a star in other regards, because you saw that the highlights of his fight with Luke Campbell was #1 trending on YouTube for like a day or something.
Wow.
And I don't really, I know that social media is definitely a thing now, but the fact that he's so invested in the Instagram, the YouTube, all of that stuff, it just leads me to believe that he's got other ambitions. Because there seems to be more of a focus on it with him than anyone else.
Absolutely.
I think on the point about of all those talented fighters, the young fighters or the up and comers, I think within the bunch there's bound to be probably a hype job somewhere. Who it is, I don't know at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. So, what do you want to see next in terms of like all these lightweights? What matchup makes you most excited?
Well, I noticed after the fight that Ryan Garcia was kind of hesitant to call out Devin Haney. He seems pretty set on trying to call out Gervonta Davis, which in which case just leads you to think that Haney and Teofimo Lopez should fight. And to focus on it, yes, I think they're the 2 matchups that should really happen, to be honest. Garcia versus Davis, and Haney versus Lopez.
Yeah.
The Garcia Davis one is because they seem to be calling each other out. They both posted the same picture, saying there's nowhere to hide. The little infographic. So and then the Lopez Haney one, purely because there's this controversy over who's the WBC champion and who's undisputed in that division. Mauricio Sullivan seems to have come out now and said that Lopez is the undisputed champion. So the franchise belt is now the belt that gives you the undisputed, even though before he said that it wasn't. So yeah, it's almost as though they're making it up as they go along. But
bro, just concocting belts out of nowhere. Just do what they want. What about you, Joshua? What do you want to see next?
I'm gonna let you answer first, bro.
Right. So I would say I want to see Gervonta versus Teofimo. I think that's just in terms of like the hype that will cause, and I genuinely want to see Gervonta against, in my opinion, a world-class talent. Because the question is, I think Gervonta and Lopez are the two out of the four who have really proven themselves over the past few years. So I would like to see that, and it'll be interesting to see, the promotion, the lead up to it, with Mayweather and Teofimo's dad as well. They're larger than life characters, so it'll be interesting to see how that gets on, and also it'll be an entertaining fight as well. And yeah, I'll say them two.
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely excited to see Davis fight again. Yeah, I think his last fight, like the result for me was just really exciting. Yeah, just looking forward to seeing him in the ring again.
Yeah, and I was thinking the other day, like, is this now like a shift in terms of like the attention, in terms of the divisions? Right now we've got the heavyweight, we've got the welterweight, and we've got the lightweight. And I think historically we've always had like the lightweight. Those three divisions always been like the cash cows for boxing. Like, I'm just wondering now, with these emerging talents, is the focus now going to be shifted to the lightweight division? I don't know what you man think about that.
I think it could do, but I think the thing with them is that they need to fight each other for it to happen. Because boxing is a sport that disappoints quite a lot of the time in terms of what it doesn't deliver. So that for them to capitalize on that, they have to fight each other. As many of them have to fight each other as possible, and not being funny, but they need to fight each other as soon as possible as well.
As soon as possible in their primes.
Exactly. While their hype is now. Because another boxer could come along in a year's time and take all the shine, take all the hype, and I'm not saying that doesn't make the fights any less intriguing, but in terms of what people can gain from it, it definitely impacts that. So my thing is they just need to fight each other to really show that. And they're all talking really back and forth. When for my money, really, Teofimo Lopez is the only one to have really got a good, he's got a couple of notable wins. Three notable wins, actually. He's got 3 notable wins. He's got Lomachenko, he's got Comey, and he's got Nakatani as well, I think. So that he's got 3 notable wins. The rest of them, it's probably between Davis and Garcia now for who's trying to come in that second spot to him. Discounting Lomachenko because he's not one of those young guys that we're coming up with. And it just depends who you rank out of Leo Santa Cruz and Gamboa and Luke Campbell and actually Ryan Garcia has never fought anyone apart from anyone notable apart from Luke Campbell.
I guess also what this is an opportunity for is for them to actually fight each other 2 or 3 times. Maybe 2 times. I mean, similar to when the welterweights fought each other, Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, all of them fought each other quite a few times. So this is an opportunity for it because whilst they're young and in primes, man. So I think this could be the takeover, in terms of like the division. Boxing. That's just my take on it.
I think it's maybe I'm just saying this because we're based in the UK, but it also depends on how this year is going to look for boxing, because it seems like it's still a little bit unpredictable with COVID and whatnot. already. I read something that said that Fury and Joshua, that things are up in the air on that because of COVID. So it's gonna be interesting how the year plays out.
Yeah, I think exactly that. That's what I can see. I can see it happening, that a lot of these big fights that people are wanting, they're just going to get pushed back and back. And COVID's going to be used as the reason. That's what I think. If I'm being honest, I think promoters and the fighters will just say, "Oh, yeah, we can't do it without a gate. We can't do it without a live audience."
Yeah. So now I'm reading it now. It says Joshua Fury latest lockdown means blockbuster fight cannot be hosted domestically. Singapore and Saudi Arabia are bidding for the fight to take place there, but it just seems like there's just delays.
Yeah, I would have thought by now a lot of them would have adapted and looked at the different possibilities. COVID's been around for a year now, so I think they've always had that in mind that this could go on for another year. So I'll be surprised if things get put off. I don't expect fights to come in, like a running tap, but some of the more key fights, and I think a lot of the promoters now are going to be focusing on the bigger fights where they can make a lot of money, not knowing what's going to happen next. So rather than, these tune-up fights and, all this, messing around, they need to make their money. So this is why there's pressure on them to put these big fights on. So I won't be surprised if we see a lot of them, happening sooner rather than later, including in the other divisions in welterweight, Crawford, Errol Spence, and, the young guys we're talking about now. They've had a year now, So,
yeah, I guess in the UK at least, it seems like this variant is causing a lot of new. Like that's the reason we're in another national lockdown, isn't it? Because this variant is unprecedented. I guess even flicking through this article, that's what it's saying, that now it seems it's near enough impossible to get 90,000 in Wembley by the time that they were anticipating. So I guess it's just there's a little bit of uncertainty, at least in the UK.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. They'll just try and if the fights are going to happen, they'll happen abroad. With the fights that you would expect to be in America, obviously there's a bit of difference because different states have different rules. You see that Texas has all of a sudden become this hotbed of boxing because you can get more fans in the arenas. But yeah, I think, to be honest, when you're talking like if we change off a bit and go to like the fight that people are thinking of UK based would be AJ Fury, then yeah, like that in the current circumstances, that fight won't happen here. And obviously, yeah, the British Boxing Board of Control actually cancelled all boxing, didn't they?
Really?
With the announcement of the pandemic, which caused a bit of they cancelled all planned events, I think, for January or until for the foreseeable future. Yeah, like a week or so ago. Like when the announcement was made. And there was a bit of a stir, obviously, because a lot of other sports are continuing. But yeah, like they've taken it upon themselves to cancel it. So.
Do you know what's interesting? With all of these things, there's always opportunities that come out of it, and maybe we're going to start seeing new boxing arenas, like new homes for boxing, as opposed to like Vegas, Wembley, like Singapore. That might be a new one. Dubai, maybe a brand new home for boxing coming for the next couple of years.
I could see it work in the Middle East. I won't be really on Singapore, to be honest, because I thought that time difference would be a killer, man. I don't even know. Man, I have to be waking up at some. Like, I don't even know what. I just remember
watching boxing, like.
Bro, I just remember when the Olympics were there, and like way back when the World Cup was over there as well.
Yeah.
Time difference was a bit off sometimes, so I think anyway.
Do you know what's interesting? If that does happen, I think there will be an increase in talent as well, in terms of diverse talent from other places around the world.
I think Daniel's frozen.
Yeah, I think so. Samson, what do you reckon, man?
Can you guys hear?
Yeah, you froze for a bit,
Yeah,
bro.
you can hear you, bro.
You're back now.
We're back now. Yeah.
I'm back.
To answer your question.
Oh, can't.
Yeah, back. Yeah, back there. To answer your question, it is opportunity for new things to be trialed. I mean, we saw it back in the last year, innit, where the Matchroom boxing promoting company, they started to do things in their backyard. So start to think more resourcefully. So which is good. And it strips things to the bare minimum now, hasn't it? You know, minimal. It's very back to basics, old school, no more theatrics. We're not going to see any ring entrances like we did with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury anymore. Stuff of that nature is probably long gone. So,
what did you guys make of Ryan Garcia's ring entrance?
I didn't even see it. You know what was it?
Oh, people were bantering him online, man. They were like, because it was quite similar to.
I haven't seen it either.
It was quite similar to Fury's. It was quite similar to Fury's ring entrance for the Wilder fight. So that he came in on like on a throne and all of that stuff, and like with people holding him, and people were saying it's when you order the Tyson Fury ring entrance from Wish.
That is so rude. So rude. I'm just quickly watching it now.
Yeah, he's very gas, man. Like it's like a cross between it's a cross between the Tyson Fury one and the Charles Martin when he fought Anthony Joshua.
So when you order it on Wish, as Libby's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, bro. I think Dan, you're right. You know, this guy is he's a sensation. He's a sensationalist, man.
Yeah, that's why he was wearing like a crown after he won. Did you see all that? And
I'm watching his entrance.
Yeah, I see that.
He's got a crown.
I mean,
he's doing some questionable. He was moving a bit questionable with him, like wrapping his legs around people.
Huh?
Did you not see that?
I didn't see that stuff.
I mean, you're pretty limited when you call yourself a king, innit? There's only a few entrances that you can come in with. You know, typical royal Roman emperor sort of entrance is played out now, man. But you know, whatever.
One thing
I've just seen it just now.
It's the thing is, it's just funny because people are obviously going for him online, and some people are never going to take to him because of the sort of character that he is.
Gimmicky.
One thing I will say, not on the fight, but on like the production of the fight, is some of the statements from the commentary were a bit outrageous. I think there was points when Ryan Garcia was called the future of boxing, and the biggest name in the sport, and all of those things. It's like, guys, like I understand you've got to keep your relationship sweet and that to get the views, to get the viewers, but let's calm down. Like,
yeah,
I'm not sure about the biggest name and the future of boxing and all of that stuff. Like, it's a bit of a big name, it's a big title to be given.
This is a really weird celebration, man. Man's getting carried while he's wrapping his legs around his trainer.
What did I tell you, bro? What did I tell you?
Man, it's weird. But you're right, man. I think people are just caught up in the theatrics of it all, which is bro, he's young though. Like that's his it's that age.
Yeah.
That age is there. It's all about the TikTok, the Instagram, even more than us lot. It's increased. I don't even think you can really be a top.
Yeah, well, we're viewing it from a consumer point of view, where we watch boxing all the time. We want to see something different. But to be honest with you, it's his career as well, isn't it? Like he wants to look back on it and show his kids what he done. So yeah, I'll see.
He's definitely going to fight the likes of the KSIs and this, that, the other. Like maybe not KSI himself, but he'll definitely do that celebrity crossover soon.
100%.
I think his career is kind of modeled off of that whole kind of going viral Twitter,
millennial,
Instagram. Yeah. That kind of model. 100%. It's almost like a distilled version of the McGregors and Mayweathers. Whereas they were the exception, I think it's just going to become the norm moving forward. with that generation.
Yeah, they gave rise. Yeah, he's a product of that generation, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about is Anthony Yard. I don't know if you guys caught up with his interview. I think was it just before Christmas? Oh right, okay. Did you watched it, didn't you, Daniel?
I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't watched it, basically it's Anthony Yard being interviewed for just about under an hour or so, and it's a really candid, honest interview on his career, his performance, the year he had in 2020, and the future and what's in store for him. Most poignant things that was asked was, is he going to stay with Tunde Ajayi? And one of the things he said is that he doesn't know. He actually doesn't know. So my question is, I think we asked this question last year, but after Christmas, maybe we have different views. What do you man think he should do? Or what do you think he's going to do?
I think he'll stick. I think he'll stick with him. And I don't know if it's necessarily entirely the wrong thing. I think it's entirely the wrong thing if he sticks with Tunde Ajayi and doesn't bring anyone else in. There definitely needs to be someone else coming in, and there definitely needs to be another captain of that ship. In my opinion, Tunde Ajayi can still manage Anthony Yard and he can still be involved in the corner, but he shouldn't be the chief giver of instructions and tactics and training anymore. I think we've seen. I think I might have said it in a previous discussion, but the two biggest facts so far of Anthony Yard's career, he's had tactical questions thrown at him that he hasn't been able to answer, and there's been questions thrown at his corner which shouldn't be repeated, basically. Obviously, like, Tunde Ajayi is a controversial character. People are not going to like to him the same way they're not going to like to Ryan Garcia for certain reasons. But yeah, I think he'll stick with him, and I don't think it's necessarily the wrong thing to stick with him, but someone else has to come in.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to stick with him.
I don't know what you guys think.
I think he's going to stick with him, but I don't think Tunde Ajayi can play another role. I don't think he can lower himself and play a smaller role, and so therefore, if that result is repeated, then I think he'll change after. I think for the short term he'll stick with him, but if things don't change with the addition of other people, then he'll get rid of him because I don't think he can play another role.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. I think Tunde Ajayi's view of himself is too high and lofty for him to take any other role than numero uno. Do you know what I mean? So I'm interested from a soap opera point of view to see how this pans out. And this is what boxing is about. It's about relationships as well, isn't it? About dynamics and how one man's dream is not gonna be deterred because of a relationship, and that's one thing I like what Anthony Yard is doing.
You're on mute, bro.
Yeah, you muted yourself, bro. You muted yourself.
Sorry, apologies, bro. I think obviously he's gonna go in with the cautious approach of bringing someone else in, similar to what AJ done with Steve McCracken. But Steve McCracken obviously remained number one, but I don't know if Tunde Ajayi should remain number one. And if he isn't, how he responds is going to be interesting. But I have to give Anthony Yard a lot of credit, and I've got a lot more respect for him. Well, not that I hadn't respect for him before, but I've got more respect than I did, I guess, before the interview, based on the decision he might make, and because he was so honest and truthful. But yeah, The saga continues. To get Jai.
Let's see what 2021 brings for that, man.
Let's see what 2021 brings.
We should still try to. We should still try to get him on the show.
We should. We actually should. Don't know how we're gonna do that though. We might block one of us.
Boy.
Or all of us.
Yeah,
send us a free T-shirt.
Yeah, blah. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's been an exciting start to the year with that fight. And with these new rules, man, let's see how it goes.
I think we covered everything, or we want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, I think we've covered everything we need to cover.
Yeah,
and that's it for this one, bro. Cool. So that's been the first episode of 2021. Long may it continue. Hope you guys are well and transitioned well into the new year, and we'll see you very soon. Peace.
Blessings.